Hello and welcome back to another episode of FTB Sky Factory 2.5. My name is Twin Minds, and I think this is a guy on a dragon. He's a little bitty guy too. Look at his tiny little legs. It's adorable. Anywho, let's get started. I have a lot lined up for today, but first, I found out that I have a new horse, and he has a pile of hats stacked on his back there. It's odd looking. I'll do away with him eventually because I don't need another horse, but I found that amusing to start off with here. As you can see, my mana has started to pile up. I've been feeding these endoflames every once in a while. I don't have much use for it at the moment, but I will eventually, so I'm still building up as I go. So, I have two things I think that I want to accomplish today, and they both sort of involve this thing. I have been getting far too much inventory problems with that thing. See that large chest is empty there? Moments ago it was completely and totally full of loot bags, which has filled me up everywhere else. Every single location I've got is full. So I need to fix my storage problem. I know I keep saying that, but I do finally need to do it because it's gotten a little bit excessive. To do that, I need to stop this thing from processing for a little bit. So I've set up a little thing that I want to make. And I should be able to make that right now. But first, I need to cook up these here, like so. While that's cooking, I can get started with the next part. I need this one here, which means I need more of these. And these go around an ingot, an iron ingot, to make the electrum wire coil. I need these back, because I need to make one of these low voltage wire connectors. And I think that covers it. I keep clicking on the wrong one. So this is a transformer. This is how you transform between medium and low voltage. There's also the high voltage transformer here. So I'm doing that because I actually need low voltage power. Now previously I had said I don't really need it, but turns out the thing that I want to make requires low voltage. So be it. I'm doing low voltage, just a little bit. The next thing I need to make is powered lantern. I did forget to grab my glowstone, but I grabbed everything else. The powered lantern is much like the lanterns that I've got over in the little courtyard there, but they do require power in the form of low voltage. The reason for that is they have a bonus aside from providing light. And I will hopefully be able to demonstrate that little bonus in just a moment here. But I do need to get it built first. So to build this, I'm going to plop this down somewhere close by, I think. There will do for now. And I need to crank this pile up a little bit. Need to get a little bit higher there. Now this transformer hopefully will fit right there. Now by default it is this big old block, but if you take it and put it on the side here, it turns into a smaller little gadget. It looks a little bit more space friendly, let's go with. So I need my MV wire coil to connect this one to that one. It's a little bit funky, but it works. And then I need to make, there we are, low voltage wire coil. So I need 4 more ingots and another stick, which I have to build over here. Now these low voltages will connect to this guy here. Oops, I think I need my hammer. I need to build up a little bit, because I don't think I can reach that. That'll do. So that there, and that like so I can reach it. And low voltage coil from there over to here, like so. That's how the transformer works. You just pop from medium voltage, which transfers it down into low, which then can connect over here. Now I do have my powered lantern, but I did need to build one other thing. And that is breaker switch, which I need my lever first. And breaker switch. So I'm all ready to get rain done apparently. So let's see, where am I going to put this thing? I need the breaker switch to be accessible. Let's start with there. Oh dear, items are trying to flow to me. That's the thing about the magnet, is that the items, even though they can't reach me, will sometimes flow towards me. Although I can't pick them up, it just looks like they're flying towards me. So it's a little bit of a visual glitch there. So I need to reach that. Ooh, I can reach it from there. And then connect it up there. And then I need to build up just a little bit. I don't quite know how high I have to go, but... So this wire needs to connect to that thing there. And the lantern can reach... Oh, why not there? Like so. Now, once I get down here... flip the switch, that light turns on, and hopefully, if it's doing what it's supposed to do, that light will stop monsters from spawning within a 32 block radius. So that will be my way of turning off the spawner, assuming it works from this height. I'm not sure it's going to work from what, 20 blocks below roughly, but we'll see how that goes. So I'll turn that off and then walk away for a little bit and see if they stop spawning. I may have to reach in there and still kill the ones left over though. But they may despawn. We'll see. Let's dump off... Oh, never mind. Dump off nothing because I have no space to put anything. Dump off some stuff for now. Alright. Now, you'll notice the other thing I have is these pure Certus quartz crystals and pure Fluix crystals. Now these are part of Applied Energistics, and it's how you get started with the AE system. And Applied Energistics is an interesting mod that I love quite a bit. It's basically, you build a computer system that can digitally store your items. It stores them on disks, so it works much like your hard drive on your computer. It turns the items into essentially a digital number, and it counts them and stores them all within the disk so that they don't take up storage space in boxes. And it accomplishes that by making a drive, like so here, and then putting disks in it, like so here. The storage cells. So now I will need to build quite a few of these, and I believe I need quartz glass, which I'm pretty sure I have a bit of glass on hand. I have some, but not much. So let me cut it here and gather the rest of what I need, and then we'll get started with an AE system. Alright, so I got a couple things. Now, there's a lot more to gather than I expected, but probably should have expected that. AE is quite advanced tech, actually, so it's a little bit of a surprise that I'm moving to it this soon, but I do have all the stuff for it. Running a little bit slim. This is actually the last of my redstone, and I have very limited amount of these Certus quartz dust. To be fair, I did turn a lot of them into these pure Certus quartz crystals, so that is partly my fault. These crystals are actually used to make a lot of things in AE, and you can kind of see here all the different components that you need them for. So I did need to make quite a few of them, and the challenge that I ran into is that these pure crystals are actually grown from seed in water. So if you remember back to old elementary experiments where you make a supersaturated solution of sugar or salt in water and then drop in a string and let it crystallize on that string to get that pure salt or sugar crystal. That's basically what these are. You grind up some of the Certus quartz, like so, into the dust, and then you mix it with sand, and then you create basically a seed of that crystal, which then grows in water. Now, the time requirements for that are immense. These can all grow at the same time, so I did all 4 stacks at the same time. That part wasn't a problem. But it took 8 hours, 8 real-life hours of me having this game on AFK while I did other stuff for them to actually grow. Now that's just ridiculous. I hope I don't ever have to do that again. There are methods to speed that up, but I didn't have access to them at the time. One of them being the crystal growth accelerator. You plop these down next to the block of water that these things are floating in, and it helps speed up the growth. If you put down 4 of these, and it helps quite a bit. Yeah, I think it's like 5 to 10 minutes tops to grow a whole set of these. So it would have been handy to have. I just didn't have it at the time. So that being said, I don't ever want to have to do that again. So I will be making some of these crystal growth accelerators. But first, I do need to start with the basics, the very, very basics. I need to have cables. This whole system is connected through cables. And to do that, if I can find my cables in here, instead I will grab one of these, because that's where the cables are. I need to start off with making quartz fiber, basically a fiberglass cable. Let's start with, let's go with 12 of them for now. I don't want to make too many and use up all my resources. So these are the quartz fiber cables. They don't do too terribly much on their own. They're primarily crafting components in making these glass cables, which are the actual connective cables. So let's make up all of those. You do get quite a few per cable that you make, so that's nice to know. Now the next thing that I need to make is the drive. So the drive is made up of cables, some iron, and these engineering processors. In the basic Applied Energistics 2, these processors are made by finding a meteor in the world, a meteor that has actually crashed down into the ground, and it contains a chest inside that has a press for each of the 3 or 4 types of processors. So then you press the materials together in this press and make the chip. But since there is no such thing as a meteor in a world that has no land, the developers of this pack reverted back to a previous method of making these, which is carving them with a cutting knife. So I need this cutting knife first, and then I need to make the chips. I will be starting with probably just 2 of them. Let's go with just the 2 of them. And if I need more later, I can make more. It does eat up durability on the cutting knife, so I will be needing another one of those at some point or another. And I need to cook those up in the furnace to set them. Now while that cooks, I can make up one of the other components that I need, which is the energy acceptor. The AE system does need to be powered, and to power it, you have to have this device to accept power incoming. So I will do this. Let's go with a little bit extra on this side, because I am running low on the blue stuff, so I need to save some of that. I think I need a little bit more. Alright, and then the energy acceptor, like so. I only need 1 of them. Let's grab these and go back to making that drive. They're pretty easy to make once you have all the materials down. So this drive, like so, you just put the discs in, and then once it has power, it will read those discs and whatever's in them. So we'll get there in a moment. Let's see, what else do I need? I need some chips. Let's start there. these are the 1K storage components. Each material takes up X amount of bytes of storage. Bytes or bits, I don't recall which one this uses. And 1K refers to the byte storage that the chip can hold. I don't recall. I think it's something like 8 bytes per item type. So iron and redstone are 2 different types of items, 8 bits each. And then up to, I think, an additional 8 bits for a full stack. So 8 bits and a stack, something like 4,000 items can be stored in one chip if it's the same type of item. Each chip can store up to 64 different types, so they are limited down by that way. Oh dear, why didn't that work? What am I missing? I am not missing anything. What it's doing here is the recipe is expecting the full Sortus quartz cutting knife, and I have one that is already partially used, so unfortunately I'm going to have to build that thing myself. Like so. I'll build all 10 of those. That's an unfortunate little bug with this cutting knife, is it does not like them when they're partially damaged. That's alright. And then I do need more glass, but let's start off with a few of these. Yep, that's right, I need to cook up this component first. Why are you doing the thing? Because I need to actually cook these up. One moment while those cook up here. Alright, those have finished cooking, and I have run into not a problem, but a delay. The challenge that I've got next is that 29 redstone is all I've got left. I don't necessarily want to burn it all just yet. So I will limit my chip usage, because it's 7 redstone per chip. I can't make all that many to begin with, so I'll have to make fewer of them for now. So I'll start with 2 chips, I think. And then the rest will come later once I get more redstone. Alright. Better than chests. And truly they are better than chests. These things are my favorite storage method of all time. I'm going to have to use it sparingly at first, but pretty much everything will go in here at some point or another. LV, you say? I need to make more medium voltage. Alright, so I have no space in my inventory left for anything, but that's alright. I don't need much more space at the moment. So, where I want to put this thing is unknown right now. They're easy to move, so I'm just going to put it any old way right now. That was a terrible laid out system, but that's just temporary measure. I'm going to put those chips on in there. Now the last thing that I need to do, which I actually have not built yet, after connecting up power, like that. So see the lights turned on there, that does indicate that they're on and ready to go. But you'll notice that I don't have any way to access the items. The other thing that I need to build is a crafting grid of sorts. Terminal, sorry. Interface is one of them, but I need a terminal. And I need the crafting terminal, which requires a calculation processor, easy enough. An ME terminal, which requires one of these. Good thing I cooked up some. One of those, and some more of that. So, good thing I cooked up a lot of this stuff. And I saved myself a little bit of redstone, luckily, or else I would have been in a little bit of a bind there. 2 of that. Alright, so first off, calculation processor. So when that shift click doesn't work, since I keep forgetting it doesn't work, you don't have to shift click the question mark, you just click the question mark and you get the grid. So you don't have to remember the recipe offhand. I think it will allow me to do one of these. It does not let me do one of those. Alright, so I need to grab a regular old one. There we go. That is also good to know. I thought the pures would work for that. Cook you up and get building the other component. So one of these logic processors, I need one of these. Yep. And then the other one I need is the other side. So these are the cores. The formation and the annihilation cores. Why did that not work? Which one am I missing? I'm missing nether quartz. Okay, I will go grab one of those. And while I'm over there, I will grab a crafting table, because I need one of those as well. And nether quartz is over here. I might as well continue on here. Alright, so these cores, the formation and the annihilation core, these are kind of the crux of what Applied Energistics does. Since it stores everything digitally, and it has to annihilate the item and convert it into a digital matter, and then to bring it back out again, it needs to form it from the digital to the real world. So that is why these terminals use one of each, because they are responsible for both putting items into the network and pulling them out. So it's both forming and annihilating the items. So I need to build that, and yet again, I am missing something. I think I'm missing the quartz glass. Let's see if I can remember that recipe offhand here. Yes. Okay. Also, we'll need to leave items in here because I don't think I have enough to pull everything out. Alright, got everything I need for this, which is good. I may make 2 of those, but I'll make 2 of them because I don't have anywhere to put the spare stuff. That's fine. And then this one. So I've got a crafting terminal and a regular old terminal. These regular terminals can actually be used for other things later, so I had no problem making a second one. Alright, so the crafting terminal can go not like that. So they need to be attached to a cable in this version. Like so. Alright, so I have nothing in here, but I can store items in here, like so. And now all the items just get listed in here, and they're stored in these disks. You can see 8 types of items using up 106 bytes. And nothing has moved to this chip yet because it will go in order and wait till one gets full before it goes to the next one. So now I have my AE system, and I love it. I absolutely adore it. Now, 13 types of items using 153 bytes. So these things can actually store quite a bit of stuff in a relatively compact space. Now, the only thing that I can't see here, I'm pretty sure I can't see it anywhere, I cannot see how much energy my system is using. I know it's relatively small, but it is based on the number of components that are plugged in. Every single cable, every single terminal, every single drive uses up some energy. It's not much, though. I don't think it's much more than maybe 100 RF per tick. So one of these will be more than enough. But that does mean that I'm now permanently drawing energy, and I need to be aware of that. So I will need to figure out how to monitor this power so that I don't go overboard. But I can start dumping some of my stuff in there and clean out some of these chests, which is wonderful. Great. Now these dusts, I will actually leave where they need to be in the other storage system over here. Now I hope that I have enough materials left to do the next part that I need. I need a storage bus, which is a couple pistons and an interface, which I need more of those cores. Not a huge deal, and some glass. Alright, I can do that. So let me get this thing all situated, and then I will return. Okay, so I have everything I need, and I want to get that crafted, and I made a little bit of a change in the background, you may notice, so we'll get to there in a moment here. Now the other thing about this crafting terminal is that you can craft directly from within the AE system. So anything that you have stored in there, you can immediately pull out as you need to, which makes it wonderful. And you can just throw the items back in there and it will make use of them. So I've got my piston here. I think I want to use blue slime instead. Notice all these items are just filling up as needed. You can even search. Oops, if you can type, you can search. And you've got the pistons right there. So it's very handy. There's actually also other search modes, like so. This mode just automatically lets you start searching the system. Whereas this one, as soon as you go in, it automatically searches NEI as well as the system. So there's a few different methods to search, and I have yet to fully figure out which one I appreciate. But sometimes I like to just keep it on standard here. So if I go back to the interface and make one of those, and then if I recall correctly, it's just like so. ME storage bus. So the interface is something I could plug into the system, and it will allow for the direct pumping of items in and out of the system. So I could just take items from these pipes here and just plug it directly into the interface, and it will just go straight into the system wherever they can be stored. So that's what that purpose is. Now the storage bus is similar, except that it has limitless potential, apparently. The storage bus connects to something that is already storing items, like so. And it allows the AE system to read whatever's in that box. And what I'm going to use it for is this here, this drawer controller. So these cables actually are really nice in that they are multi-part. Notice how that is, the crafting terminal is within the same block space. If I put that there, it is also within the same block space. So I'm saving myself a little bit of space, and this storage bus is now reading the drawer controller and everything that it is connected to. So previously I did not have any diamonds in my system, or emeralds, or even ender pearls, but now I do. So everything that is in this drawer is now also accessible from my AE system. It is the best thing in the world. I love it. So now I will be just storing all of my stuff in here, and it will be a great time. Now, the other thing that I needed to get to is this little monstrosity. I'm not even sure I have enough time to do that. But what I did want to do is show you what I've been doing manually this whole time and why I wanted to fix it. So, here it goes. These are a bunch of monsters that have been locked in this little hole for a long time because they did not die when they should have. I just hit level 50 because I have been doing this far too much. There's all manner of critters in here. I hope I got that one, because that's the only one actually that can actually reach out and get me. Is those little purple spiders that you saw there. Those are a thing from Thaumcraft called taint spiders, I believe they are. And they're really, really tiny, so they fit through the hole. I still hear a spider, but it's a big normal spider. That's fine. Alright. So, I have no more creatures. And they're not dropping from above like they normally would be. So, I have solved that problem. I have not solved this problem, though. This is definitely a problem. This is what I've been doing manually. I've been collecting all of this stuff manually, and then running all the way over here, and resorting it all into the places that it needs to go. Except for I have no more places to put them, so that hasn't been happening either. And then I've been dumping in some of this stuff to clear out some of the inventory. And then the other thing that I've been doing is taking care of the loot bags, like so. Shift right click to empty the loot bags in here, and then taking the stuff and sorting them into the chests, etc., etc. It's been, I wouldn't say not fun. I've been enjoying, killing all the critters and getting all the loot and having fun with that. But as you can see with my mess of chests here, I'm sure certain YouTubers would be proud of me that I've gotten this many chests, but others would just go absolutely insane. So I'm going to do what I can with my limited storage space, since I only have those 2 cells and these chests, or these drawers here. I'll do what I can to sift some of that stuff into the network, like so. The other thing I need to do is determine if this works, how it's supposed to. This says that I have 14. And this says that I have 14. Now, I just took all of them out, and they're gone from that drawer. Now, if I put them back again, it does not put them back in here, because it doesn't know that this is a useful space for it to go. So what I can do instead is I can put one of them in here, and I have one here, and I put all 13 back in to make 14, and now this says that I have a block plus 5, which is the 14. So the way to get around that problem is you can actually lock these drawers into holding that one item. So even if you pull all of them out, it still shows that item type, and that's the only item type that go in there. And then what you can do is you can set this storage bus to a higher priority. Any number will do as long as it's higher than the drive. And now it will try to put all of the items that match in here first only, and only take up drive space when it can't fit any more in here when these drawers get full. So that's what I will be doing, is I will be locking all of those drawers down. If I can get the right item for that. So many keys, so many keys. So these are the drawer keys, and they are somewhat cheap to make. Ooh, interesting. I can't craft an upgrade template. I'm going to have to find the solution to that, or not have a solution to that. That's a little bit upsetting. Alright, well, on that sad little news, I will leave it here, and then I will get back to you next time as we tackle this. I'm going to automate the killing of the critters, as the book says, and then I will be automating the storage of all of that loot. That's going to be a heck of an episode, and I will do that next time. See ya!